So life before Christ was questionable. Into my junior high school, high school, beginning of my college years, I was about as far away from God as possible. I was making really poor choices, started drinking, I was in and out of bars, had lots of different partners, and that's how I was kind of spiraling pretty far down. And met my ex-husband. We started dating, had an unplanned pregnancy, and so it wasn't a great life. Man, it was filled with a lot of poor decisions, but that pregnancy is what eventually led me back to Christ. I had no faith at all in God. I was doing life on my own, and then when I had my first child, I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it happened, but the minute I held her, I said, there has to be a God. I decided to get baptized in the summer of '99. I can remember, dedicating my life to Christ and, giving that prayer, giving him everything. And the summer, a couple months later, there was a family that went to Cedar Creek, the Lipperts, and we went to their house, and they had a great big party. And my friend Trina, who initially invited me, the two of us were both baptized that day. After getting baptized, I felt great initially. I felt really, really good. I was on this path. I knew where I wanted to go. I knew what I wanted to do. But I didn't have a whole lot of support at the time. There was a service in the Findlay campus early on when we were going. Lee was still there, and Lee had given this service about committing your life to Christ and so on and so forth. And at the end, Lee always asked people, if you've never surrendered your life to Christ, you raise your hand, and he'd say the prayer, and he'd say, with your head bowed, your eyes closed, repeat after me. And even though I had already been baptized, I thought I was compelled, I need to raise my hand. And so I raised my hand again, and I said that prayer. And I don't know, I felt different. I really felt different than I had even previously. And then Chris Bainey at the time was our worship leader, and he sang "He Loves Us." And I had never heard that song, and I just felt a release of a lot of guilt and shame and a lifetime of poor decisions. And in my head, I kept thinking, if that is so incredibly satisfying to me to let go of the little bit of weight I was carrying, how big of a weight is it that Jesus was carrying? And that was really significant to me. He's not doing this just for me. He's doing it for everyone. And my weight was excruciating. It was heavy. And so it just put everything in perspective. The significance of that, left me in tears. This is it, Amy. This is what it means. Him carrying the weight of the world, the weight of our sins. And it just, brought it all together. Through faith, I have been able to share stories of where I was and who I was and how I was with people who have the same thoughts that I had. And, I think Christianity, being a Jesus follower comes with such a misconstrued idea of, once you start following Jesus, you have to be perfect. And you don't. It's so much less complicated than that, So by sharing stories, by reaching out to those people who, had the same thoughts that I had back then and sharing stories, I want that to connect to people. I don't want people to think that following God is all about living a perfect life, because that's impossible. I want people to bring all that baggage and bring all their stories and just kind of dump it. And, I'm there. I can help them kind of unpack, and it's pretty cool because I can see my life through their stories too.